So I'd like Caroline to come in with your question.
So you've already referred to it, Phil, but we know there is a disparity in how much funding schools get under the high needs block, depending on the national funding formula. So how can the current allocation and distribution of high needs funding be improved to ensure that it effectively meets the current and the future needs of children and young people with SEND?
I think as Luke alluded to, it's quite hard. It's quite a hard thing to answer. There isn't a very easy model around the distribution of high needs funding. And
if you had a magic wand,
I think the disparity is significant at the moment, and the point about the kind of locked-in inequity, you can compare. So day job Gloucestershire, you compare us to another local authority, Shire authority, similar pupil numbers, similar SEM pupil numbers, £31 million a year difference in funding, and our budget's 96. So you can see that is, if we were funded at their levels, we wouldn't have a deficit. And so that variation in funding in high needs block is massive. So whether we'd be advocating for any dramatic changes to the way in which the formulas are working beyond trying to get those historic factors out, doesn't feel to me like there is a perfect solution. It's using kind of area cost adjustments, deprivation, some of the proxy factors we were talking about earlier are the kind of identifiers of need in a local area, low prior attainment, deprivation, free school meals. Those become part of a kind of a formula for high needs that works if we get past the historic factors. And those historic elements are going to be very, very hard to pull out of the system, because that the local authority I just referenced, who's comparable to us, they're also in deficit. So it's not like they're kind of not they're in a better position either. So I think in terms of the high needs formula at the moment, our kind of key priority is to try and get those historic factors out, and really the only way to do that is investment, because you've got to bring everybody up the way the funding system is at the moment.